I think the biggest case of that recently was when Khabib was the man, and then Jones just kind of lost his mind. Like, it wasn't about him, so he lost his mind. Like, it's okay if this guy just had such a great performance under the circumstances, lost his father. Now everybody's like, yo, this guy's the best. Okay. For years, people have been saying you're the best, right? It should not offend you to the point that you feel like you have to go on this tangent to answer. I mean, he pretty much answered every single tweet that was sent to him. Like, how do you answer every tweet sent to you when you have that many followers? So I just think sometimes you got to let go of the ego and realize that, read the room, pick your time, and do those things in those moments that are necessary.
Talking to Duke Roufus, coach of Paul Felder. How do you handle as a coach getting not just a short notice, but 5-day notice fight? I mean, how'd you approach that, man?
Well, a lot of digital training because I wasn't there with him. The main thing was just Paul making weight. Unique thing, Paul, every time he trains with me, he's got the most unique thing. Maybe it's from his acting. He remembers his lines. But every camp, he puts a bookmark in his head, and we pick up every camp where he left off in the last fight. It's such a unique thing with Paul. We never have to backtrack. Because some of the fighters I visit, we gotta have a review and return. Not Paul. I mean, Friday we had a session when I got there, and he was sharper than sharp. And the people that were there in New Zealand were like, "Oh my God!" The next day in New Zealand, here we are, and in the locker room Saturday, and even in the fight. Paul mentioned, he said that he didn't have the pressure of training camp, being worn down from a training camp, so he felt fresh and he felt quick. So maybe we'll do a 10-day training camp next time, a long one for Paul. Just joking. No, please, never again. That was one and done, the risk, and I don't want part 2, 3, or 4 of that one.
He says he doesn't think he's going to retire, that he's kind of happy fighting right now. What would make you happiest as a coach? What do you think's next for him?
Whatever makes Paul happy. Man, I have a special friendship with Paul. His father went through cancer at the same time my mother went through cancer, so we were already close, but it kind of bonded us even stronger. He, during his camp with Stevie Ray, my mom passed, and he was at the funeral there to support my family, and for me, happiness and joy is what I want for Paul. But he's happy fighting again. It's so weird how the circumstances played out. It made him happy, but at the end of the day, just another contender. You know, he's going to get healthy. I texted him this morning. He says, all in all, he feels pretty good considering that he scrapped 5 rounds. I think he's excited, probably something in the new year, and see what the UFC has to offer him. You know, it's been the neat thing about Paul. He's kind of, you know, a fighter's fighter. He's that type of guy everyone wants to watch fight. You don't have to worry about looking for Paul in a fight.
It was you were so good over the weekend, and I know, Chaos, after the fight you were talking about how Meek and Jay have inspired you. I got to ask, who have you heard from, and have you heard from anybody from their camps or even from any of the guys directly yet?
No, I haven't. Hopefully, I will soon, though. Like I said, man, they have inspired me. You know, I always listen to those guys, you know, and especially the transition. You know, I look at, like I said, I've been listening to Meek Mill since he was making Flamers, man. Back when I was in high school, his first mixtape that I remember, and I was putting people on him, like, same with Drake in 2008. Yeah. I listened to Drake when he made that Sky High, like, before he even blew up. It's like, I've seen all these people, like, I love music as well, you know, but it's like, I can relate to a lot of people when it comes to certain music. I can't relate to Drake and stuff like that, but I can relate to a lot of stuff Meek be saying, and it's just like, I just seen the come up. I seen what he started from. I seen when people was, like, when he was coming up, and I was telling people, like, man, y'all need to listen to this guy, and, you know, just to be where he is now, you know, that's why I said it's inspiration.
Wow, so you were literally inspired. So when you're going in there and impressing the world with your fighting ability, and Meek actually inspired you.
Yeah, definitely. And Jay, man, like I said, he a businessman. You know, those people that inspired me. I've been listening to him forever, man. I mean, like, forever. And all my fights, like, every morning I wake up, before my fight, I start my day off listening to Jay-Z. Hey, man, y'all just inspired me, man. Like, y'all music, it got me through some dark times, you know, and it gave me some inspiration, you know, when I didn't have the inspiration. You know, a lot of people, when you great, you know, they see the finishing product, but they don't see what's going on in your mind, you know, and that's the battle. The battle is in your mind. And, you know, you got to battle with yourself. You know, it's simple, but it's not easy. And that's really it, man. You know, basically, man, you know, I had times where their music just got me through. When I was running miles, I'm tired, and I'm like, man, I want to chill, or I don't want to get up. You know, it's just like, man, let me go and turn this on, man. Let me listen to this, man. This real shit right here, man. You know, let me go ahead and, yeah.
I'm speaking to Ashley Yoder, of course, coming off a win over Miranda Granger. Did you feel a lot of pressure coming off those 2 losses? What was it like mentally going in there last Saturday?
Well, you know, mentally, I was feeling better than I've ever felt going into any fight in the UFC. And I mean, I haven't had the best track record. I've had great performances, close fights, close calls, but I've never had that. I have that secure going into multiple fights. So, you know, I've always had that kind of weighing on me more times than not for most people. But I really try to value, like, I want to go out and show the fans why fighting is awesome. And I really like to perform. So, but mentality, going back to that, my mentality going into this fight was the best I've ever felt.
A lot of people would think you were under a lot of stress going in there. Do you know why that it seemed to be that you were so mentally prepared? Please tell me. I can't wait to hear it.
I hired a mental coach actually the day. So I hired him the day I lost my last fight. So I've worked with him for exactly 3 months at the time. So I had already previously been looking. You know, I think that's one of the aspects of my game that is the only really thing lacking. I think, you know, I can handle the technical side of anyone in our, you know, like, I think I've proven myself to be a worthy contestant on the stage of the UFC, but I think the mentality is something that, you know, I'm learning on the job. So it's something that a lot of people underestimate if you haven't really competed. Like, I've never really done team sports or had that kind of sport mentality growing up because, I mean, I wasn't really into too many sports, you know, but yeah, so I hired a mental coach and we worked step by step through every part of just being comfortable where I was. You know, I've been in that octagon so many times and I've spent a lot of hours in that octagon, almost 3 hours in total for all my fights. But yeah, just getting on the right page, getting comfortable, and trusting the process. It's all about process over outcome, and you're only going to sync to your training. So I was embracing that, training my booty off until I got into that stage, and that's going to be the fun part. So going in, I felt a lot more comfortable than I ever have.